So, you gonna fight or go for broke? Fight!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Q&A session where I'm going to answer questions or respond to comments or suggestions from one of my previous videos, my top 5 nerfs list for Morgan. If you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and leave a link in an annotation somewhere where you can click on, and you can go ahead and check that out if you want. And I'll also link a link for the first part of this video. This will be the second part. So yeah, you can go ahead and check that out too if you want. But for now, let's go ahead and answer some questions. Bromander says, AV should have meter gain removed completely. I understand that you think this effectively neuters the character. However, not only do you still gain meter from assist calls, but if AV is meant to be Morgan's best strategy, it should cost something. At the moment, AV simply supplies itself with meter, so your first activation of Astral Vision is the only time you'll lose bar before you start gaining, and then you'll have access to a limitless supply of double Soul Fist. Okay, a lot of people base their arguments on this, and it's not true. It's a fallacy. Morgan doesn't get limitless supplies of meter from Astral Vision. It's up to the opponent to decide that. If the opponent is really good, Morgan doesn't even get half of a bar of meter. She might not even get a third of a bar of meter. And the best example of this is Justin Wong versus Chris G in the losers finals at EVO, because there are multiple instances where Chris G was unable to get any meter off of Justin Wong because he simply wasn't able to hit him or lock him down for chip. Even when you have an unlimited supply, it still doesn't translate into getting damage, much less getting kills. I think it was game 4, Justin Wong's first win. Chris G had all the meter he can hope for. He had an unlimited supply of meter, and Justin Wong still came back and won that game. I think Chris G went into Astral Vision at least 6 or 7 times in that game, and he still wasn't able to get the win. So there's more than just that initial 1 bar cost to Astral Vision, and that's the fact that you might not even get kills or damage, much less the meter. And forgive me if I'm mispronouncing this, but Kaio Lugan agrees with Ori the Wolf, but also adds, what do you think about increasing the startup of Soul Fist a couple of frames? And I will always disagree with any nerf to Morgan's spamming game that also harms her combo game. And this definitely would harm her combo game. Increasing the startup of Soul Fist would definitely make it all harder, and it would be making it less rewarding to combo with Morgan. So yeah, I definitely don't agree with that. And Mariano Nunez suggests, Darkon sounds so scared of actually learning how to play this game without Morgan spam. This is what he's pretty much saying. Don't nerf Morgan because I play her. Laugh out loud. Alright. I mean, my own subscribers ask why I don't spam at all. They actually want me to spam more. I actually don't use Astral Vision all that much, so yeah, I'm not actually scared at all of learning how to play this game without Morgan spam, because I already know how to play this game without Morgan spam. So I also don't nerf Morgan because I play her, I guess, but also don't nerf Morgan for the tons of reasons I list in the video. That's really the important part. Lagtastic Gaming argues, surely the difference between getting damage through chip and through combos is apparent. The fact that you can kill a character without even hitting them once, as in they block every attack, is insane. Why is it even possible? It requires no risk on the Morgan's part. The reason why combo affords so much more damage is that it is a risk in coming in close to another character. Full screen projectile chip shouldn't afford as much damage as a combo. Well, you're right, but it really doesn't. I mean, I showed a pretty decent example of the amount of chip damage that Morgan is capable of towards the end of my video. That was about 300 to 350,000 points of chip damage against Hagar. And that's really the median point. You can take more or you can take less, but it's always going to be around that much. That's not even close to some of the damage that you can get from a combo. But also, it's not like Morgan's the only character that can do that. I mean, Chris can do it as well, and Chris is probably even better than Morgan at doing that. Chris is the king of getting stray shots and chip damage from full screen. He's really good at it. And Hawkeye, he's probably just as good as Chris as well. He can do all kinds of crazy chip damage without even having to use any meter. But, I mean, there's also Arthur. He can do the same thing. And I would even say Virgil can do the same thing. He's not even a projectile character, but he still seems to be able to get tons of chip damage and even chip kills as well. So to answer why it's possible, I mean, really it's possible because Capcom made it possible. And it's really as simple as that. Godspeed the Ice has kind of a suggestion for Morgan, and that's to give her 2 shell kicks. One that hits 3 times and also has an OTG property so that she can combo off of her hard knockdown grabs, and another shell kick that only hits once, something that she can use during her combos that won't scale her damage backs too hard. And that could be a good idea, but I don't know. I'm kind of okay with the fact that Morgan is a character that can't really combo off of her hard knockdowns. Kind of like the way Ryu is, and I'm just kind of okay with it. I mean, if that's a pretty good idea though, if you're going to give Morgan an OTG. I don't know where you would map that though. Would you map it like as down S or forward S or down forward S, something like that? I actually had another idea for an OTG, and that's to make her Light Soul Fist OTGable. So what you would end up doing is you'd have to Tiger Knee the Light Soul Fist after, like, say your any one of your hard knockdowns, like your back throw. They're all hard knockdowns, but some of them are shorter than the other ones. It's like your back throw or the command grab. You would Tiger Knee a Light Soul Fist after that, and then you would be able to go into whatever. So that's one idea. This is another one. I don't know if they would ever do something like this though. 84Jamie11 says, I agree with everything you said, and your videos are so funny. Smiley face. Where do you go to tell Capcom about your ideas for nerfing? Well, first off, thanks. But I'm actually not sure if they even want our ideas. I think it's something that they'll just find on their own if they're looking for outside of opinions. I think they have a pretty good idea of what they want to accomplish. Maybe they're just looking for maybe some suggestions by fans, but I don't really think there's like an inbox for something like this where we can give them our ideas. It's probably something that will find them. Zagersek argues, if a big reason Shell Kick needs to stay intact is for happy birthday combos, what about characters who don't even have good happy birthday combos? Wesker, Spencer, Felicia, to name a few. Well, I always thought Wesker did have a happy birthday setup, but I might be mistaken in that his wall bounce attack is able to hit multiple characters. I always thought it did, but it might not. But Wesker, even he has a much better setup than Morgan. Morgan really only has ABC launch to ABC Shadow Blade to finishing shower, and even then there's a really good chance that at least one of the characters, if not both, will fall out. I don't think Wesker has quite that problem, and even if he does, you'll at least get one. And then afterwards, Maximum Wesker is a soft knockdown, so he is able to DHC relatively easy into something else to be able to extend the combo. Morgan can't really do that because his finishing shower isn't a soft knockdown, so even Wesker has a better setup than Morgan. Felicia, I always thought Felicia did have something where she was able to pop up opponents off the ground and go into like a little jumping air string. Maybe it's only single hit. I'm not sure. I do know Delta Kick is can only hit one character, which is kind of dumb. Should be able to hit two. But Spencer can suck it. I mean, if his 80Ks were able to hit multiple characters, he'd be the most broken character in the game. I don't think it's as big of a deal for him, because he go into some sort of really easy X-Factor combo to kill both characters relatively easy. Even if you X-Factor with Morgan, it's still pretty tough to kill both characters. So Joshua Lee theorizes, imagine if Morgan's Astral Vision still operates when you tag into a different character, like Dante's Devil Trigger. Oh man, that would be so broken. I would basically give up chip damage, I would give up meter gain if Astral Vision were to work like that, because then that would be, well, double Soul Fist would be great, double Shadow Blades would be meh, but double Dark Harmonizers would be the most broken assist ever. It would be so great. It would be as much meter as you could possibly ever want. That's probably why it doesn't work like that. Stolen EC footage posits, it's difficult for me to accept the views in this video at face value, but I also know Capcom isn't the greatest with redesigns per version update, so I understand. Thinking strictly in taking things away, yeah, Astral Vision with no meter or chip could be bad, but what if in return they made it so you couldn't push block during Astral Vision to help her get in / lock down? Less damage Soul Fist would be bad at face value too, but what if they then increased the damage of her other moves so combos actually did more? I kind of hinted this from a past question, and I don't think they would do this change because it would basically be changing Morrigan's identity from a spam character to a combo character, and I'm pretty sure they intended her to be a spam character. There's already very few spam characters in this game. Most characters in Marvel are combo characters, and I just don't think they want to take that away from the game. So I don't see them doing something like this, because this is a pretty radical change to her identity. It's a broken change, I think, in my opinion it is, but it's a radical change, and I would love it if I could do 4 unpush blockable fireballs at an opponent. That means I would get a hit. I would definitely get a hit. I would go into some sort of high-low or left-right mix-up, or both. In fact, I can probably do both if I lock down an opponent with 4 fireballs. So it's a decent idea, but it's just something that I don't think Capcom would ever do. Tashi2201 adds in, I'm hoping if a patch does come out, they make the low-tier characters better, like Shinko and Chun-Li. Give Iron Fist a better launcher would be great. I would say nerf Doom missiles assist to when he gets hit, the missiles disappear. What do you think, Darkon? And I agree, Morgan is okay the way she is. Well, I mean, I would say, yeah, they obviously do need to make the low-tier characters better. I mean, Morgan was a low-tier character back in Vanilla, and they did, what, 3 changes, and then all of a sudden she's a really good character, a really great character. I can see them doing something like that for Shinko and Chun-Li and Iron Fist as well. I don't know about Chun-Li, she's a pretty good character as it is, but she's really hard to play, so... But yeah, Iron Fist does need a better launcher. Like, I don't know why they made it such a point for him not to be able to launch opponents that he's popped up off the ground. It's really weird. As for hidden missiles, I always picture him against my team, and if his missiles disappeared whenever he got hit, missiles would never come into play against my team, because if I was on point with Chris, he would eat a Magnum every time he came out. Missiles would never come out, would never hit me. If it was against my Magneto, Disruptor, missiles would never touch me. It would be so hard for missiles to come into play, and I think that's too harsh of a fix. Which is why I kind of agree with FGTV and their fix of Doom's hidden missiles. Yeah, I think this suggestion is just a little harsh.